Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. Welcome to 2022. I wanted to wish you guys a great year. I hope everything goes well with you in this year. Last year was a trying year for a lot of people. Well, I'm going to start off this video in a good way. It's going to be about inside Rikers Island's most violent prison. This is actually juveniles. They don't know what to do. Well, juveniles, young adults, 18 to 21. But before I get started, please check me out on YouTube programs, member programs, Patreon programs, Discord. Please check out my book, Gangster Redemption. Now let's get started. I saw this show on with Diane Sawyer. It was on Nightline, and it was about Rikers Island, New York. Obviously, flood of memories and everything else comes back. Well, I'm going to be talking about Rikers Island today. And, you know, they're trying to close the prison down. They're trying to take the solitary confinement away. And you're going to hear from the warden of that prison. And you can, director of commission, I don't know what they call him. It's the warden in my eyes. And I'm going to go over some of the things that struck a nerve and understanding. It might surprise you what I actually say. Here we go.
Tonight, come with us to Rikers Island, the biggest jail complex in America. A place haunted by its violent history. 8,000 inmates living in a kind of suspension, a shadow world.
If you can survive Rikers Island, you can survive anything.
I'm about to kill myself. Rikers is a badass place.
There is only one road in, across a bridge, and straight ahead, a world apart. We've been granted unprecedented access.
This blows me away. I mean, wow. You gotta say the Department of Corrections in New York is changing. To give access to Diane Sawyer and these cameras into a jail like this, you know, that shows they want change. And I think that's great. It's unprecedented. I've tried it already with some Federal Bureau of Prisons. Boy, do I get shut down quick. So, and I'm gonna keep trying this year and maybe I'll get it. We'll see.
Our cameras will have 7 days inside, 70 hours. Once we enter the first lesson of Rikers, be ready for the unexpected.
You have to stand by for 1 second. Stand by for 1 second.
There's an alarm.
During our time there, 9 different alarms locked down.
Quickly.
The number that are being deployed right now indicates something pretty big, doesn't it?
Well, you know, that's almost not true. That number to be deployed is always a show of force. Like when they bring the SWAT team in, when they took the SWAT team on me, and when they beat the fuck out of me and they mace me, and oh man, this video brought back memories already, but I have to explain it. So they're gonna bring numbers, and that's usually a SWAT team, and that's usually you have to extract an inmate out of his cell. Cell extraction is what they do. And boy, I'm telling you, yes, I'm sure they're worried about a knife or something of that in this place, but they go in, there's not, you couldn't do shit with it. You couldn't do shit if you had a gun. But I get it. I mean, I do understand it too.
On the other side of this maze of doors, the question we came here to answer. Is it really possible to change this notorious, explosive place? We start with the treatment of the most violent inmates. A door opens. Listen.
That sound, everybody, gives me chills. Because, you know, I've seen so many convicts, inmates at the end of a tier going crazy. And it's truly a sign of mental illness. When you could see somebody taking feces and writing demonic stuff on the walls and screaming and banging and literally hitting their heads against walls. I mean, it's just, it's sad. It's really sad. Now, you're going to get people that say, you know, fuck these people, they committed crimes and this. But, you know, we do have something called the Constitution, and we do have something called cruel and unusual punishment. It's in the Constitution. In fact, it's the Bill of Rights. It's the 10 most important. It was the original 10 amendments to the, not amendments, actual Constitution. And then it was amended, 17 more times, 27. So think about that. And now people will say, oh, no. And I'm not going to be talking about coddling people. You'll hear that here in a minute.
Across Rikers, while we're there, 165 people locked up to 23 hours a day in concrete cells.
What'd you say?
Yes, you are treated like an animal. And in fact, worse than some animals. I really believe that. I've been in a hole where they don't feed you. I've been in a, forget the wreck, and they're going to talk about this here. And you said, this is giving me the chills because this is the box. They use this unit as the box. In federal prisons, they build the freaking whole unit specially designed with doors that close and open, not automatic, always turnkey, but at each end the tiers. It's totally different than a unit like this. They can make this unit into anything they want. They made it into the hole, is what they did in this facility now.
You're given a restriction, no interviews through the cell doors. It could create heightened turbulence. This is the punishment for inmates who attack officers or each other, fighting, slashing with hidden weapons.
Here he's talking about lights on, lights off. Think about that. They got a camera crew in there and they're just telling the stupidest thing. Keep the lights on, turn the lights on or off. Because the guards know how to fuck with people. Simple as that. And I'm not saying they did. You're going to hear my views because I feel for this one guard. I don't think guards get paid enough. And I don't think they're educated enough or screened enough. So I think we need good corrections officers. And we need to totally bring the population of the prison system down.
Yeah, man, but they won't let me out, man. I ain't sure you know what you're talking about, man. Hopefully one day I'll be there close to her.
As we said, their entire world is concrete walls, a toilet,
Look at it. These sinks and toilets remind me of prison so much. And the shit around. And if you look at this one picture here, I have to show it again. This one. Do you see the whiteness around the window on that door? That's actually toothpaste. You go, what do you mean toothpaste? They use that so they could put a paper over that and nobody could see in the cell. Now you can do that, and obviously they don't like that, but people used it for having sex in the cell, using the bathroom. Most likely when it was a unit. It was in a unit at the time, because at this level, then the people use it for, you put something over the door to go to the bathroom. Here they might do it to fuck with people, but that's what that is. It actually hardens almost like concrete. I'm telling you, that's the toothpaste. We call it state toothpaste. That's the stuff you get. You can use any toothpaste on it, but the best is literally the state toothpaste they give you.
is concrete walls, a toilet.
Look at the toilet. Look at the disgusting fucking shit. Now you gotta sit on that toilet and shit and do whatever you're gonna do. And it is what it is. I would clean a cell so good. I mean, I was a fanatic for that. That's just the way I was.
Toilet, a sink, no TV. Cut off from most human interaction. It's not even possible to see through the opening on this door.
I often talked about that in videos. You don't get to see out. Sometimes it's just that you can see light. You wouldn't know who's out there, what time it is. But in the feds, they actually have fogged glass. So it's made for that. This is just fucked up glass that's been there.
And the 1 hour spent outside for recreation?
This gave me chills, everybody. This is the wreck in the hole. You supposedly get your hour every day, 5 days a week, but that doesn't happen. I mean, it's amazing how they use the words, for the safe and orderly running of the institution, we had to cancel rec. Or they'll do this, it's raining out. It might not even be raining out. They're short-staffed. And you don't get your rec, just the way it is.
Locked separately into an outdoor cage.
Literally an outdoor cage. I call them dog kennels. I really do. And that kind of irks me that we can treat people like this. Now, I'm going to flip that for a second. Man, there's some bad people in prison that I never want to see get out living next to me, next to my family members or you or anybody else, because they're psychopaths. Now, the big debate is, were they psychopaths before they came in, or are they psychopaths when they get out? This is a good video.
And as the officers serve lunch, through a cell opening, a milk carton. The carton becomes a projectile, a giant spray of urine and feces.
I'm supposed to feed a guy that's throwing stuff out of the cell at me, but gotta still remain professional and do a job.
I get that guy, I do. But I also get that the guy doing that, and I told you guys about what we did with the dog and pony show and the wardens in Lewisburg and squirting shit and piss and all that and douching them. This is a way, in fact, in the federal government, it's actually assault with a weapon because they don't know if you can get hepatitis or HIV or whatever they can do. I don't know, what either, but they consider this, a weapon. They'll give you a street charge for this, at least sometimes, and I've seen it happen, actual. Now, I don't know why that guy, if you look at the doors here, I want you to look at the doors. You see they have a box on them? That box is going over the chute door. Now, they were designed, I remember when they started putting those in. When they put those in, it was for inmates being a hole that they would be able to open that top and put something in and close it before a guy can put his hand out, what they call jack the chute. And it was a way to prevent that. I don't know why that guy's top was open at that point, and they don't get into it here.
At Rikers, it's called splashing, and Officer Graham tells me every space around the cell door puts him at risk for the weaponized body fluids.
They probably fill it halfway, wedge it into the door. When you walk past, they smash it.
He says he knows people across America have seen those videos from Rikers in the past, officers using brute force.
Yeah, Rikers was known as the worst prison, or what? Jail. I hate saying prison. Rikers Island is a jail. It's not a prison, but it sure is a fucked up jail.
Everybody has an opinion, about what goes on and stuff in here, but 9 times out of 10, anybody that has anything negative to say about a correctional officer, they never even been in the facility.
I'm not going to go with that. I don't say much negative about corrections officers unless I know for a fact, and I've been in there. There are good ones and there are bad ones, like in any other job. Again, when I talk about law enforcement and I talk about correctional officers, you're talking about people who have a lot of power over another human being. That's the big thing here. And with that power has got to come responsibility. And with that power has to come with training. Because you get guys with the wrong attitudes and they have that and they would just beat the fuck out of you or do something. And it's unchecked. So that's why you see so much, when you see police stuff, on camera, it's always cameras. How much goes on without cameras? How much was going on when there were no cameras? It's absolutely out there, and it always will be when you have this many people and you have to weed them out. But let's get real. The system has to weed them out, meaning their own people have to weed them out, because they're not going to listen to inmates, that's for sure. And but they need to weed them out. The good ones, and I talk about them, the massies, the people who helped me out when I was going crazy in the hole and I thought I was going to kill myself. And he sat in the chair at my chute door and he was talking. We were just talking about the Bible, talking about everything. And he saved my life. And I often say that. So I don't knock correctional officers. We need good ones. But the bad ones, they're out.
But again, a fundamental question. Do long stretches in solitary make inmates less dangerous or more?
I have a lot of years of solitary confinement.
Rafael Figueroa says in the past he was locked 1.5 years straight in solitary, which prisoners call the box. He says he's now a time bomb.
Absolutely. My longest stretch in the hole was 11 straight months, and it was 3 years out of my 11. I was in the box or in the hole, the shoe. And he's right, you're a time bomb. You get so to the point with depression and inside anger, and you literally could sit and figure shit out in your head. I did constructive things. I fought the prison system. I wrote motions. I read tons and tons and tons of books. I'm an avid reader. But I also did plan, literally sit down and figure out how I'm going to kill these motherfuckers who pissed on me and how I'm going to do certain things. And it took many years for that to get out of me because you start going crazy.
How many fights?
Over the years, I can't even count. Over, I would say, maybe 30, 40. I've been beaten down, almost killed exactly in this jail. I've been more in prison than in the streets. When I went to the streets, I feel like I was in jail. I'm so, institutionalized, brainwashed, call it what you want to call it.
He is so correct. You become institutionalized, brainwashed, and they do that on purpose. It really was designed. The system was designed for that, so don't let them kid you. And until the philosophy changes, which you're going to see here, which really impressed me.
He says he's changed forever.
And here I feel comfortable inside myself because I'm safe from myself. I'm safe from others. I can't function in society.
The vast majority of inmates are here in a kind of purgatory, convicted of nothing yet, awaiting trial.
Isn't that crazy? These are not convicted people. These are people maybe been accused of something, been indicted, but they're going to trial. They're not even guilty yet, and they treat them like this. Just take that thought and say, what do you think happens when they are guilty?
And 57% of these inmates were charged for non-violent crimes.
First time incarcerated?
Yeah, first and last time. Get to experience it all, I guess.
Aaron Perry, sent to Rikers for stealing computers and phones, ended up in the hell of solitary because of an angry outburst. He talks about the despair in this place.
I see a lot of frustration. I see frustration.
You know, I look at these young guys and these people in prison, and it's sad, because I know the waste of human life. And I've met really good dudes in prison. I really have. I met psychopaths too, and I talk about those. But I've also met people who don't belong. I met a Tellini, Paulie Tellini. Did not deserve in the longest fucking... that man did not deserve fucking 30-year sentence. Period. Non-violent drug offender. 30 fucking years. What a draconian country we live in. Fuck, it gets me frustrated.
Commissioner Joseph Pont says there is simply no evidence this kind of treatment reduces violence. And says, remember, 80% of the inmates at Rikers will eventually be back out in your town.
I think it's higher. I think 95% of all people who go to prison get out. I don't know where they got 80 in there, but it's definitely low in my opinion.
He says he wants the officers to start striving for something better.
We can change people's lives. And if you don't believe that, then you got to say that these are throwaway people, right? So they're throwaways. They're violent when they came in, they're going to be violent when they go out, and they're going to be the next criminal that does 50 years, the next assault, because these guys are getting out.
That guy is so right. The people who come to me, they're just piece of shit, they should be treated anyway. When he gets out and he has no hope. The dude gets out of prison and he has no hope. He can't get a job. He gets shut down every place he goes. He's ridiculed. Everything that happens, they put so many barriers up for ex-cons. Can't get an apartment. I couldn't even get an apartment because I had a felony record. Now you do all of this, and what do you expect to live next to somebody when he rents a room from somebody? And now he don't give a fuck. And now you're his next victim. Or do you want a guy who gets out, he's got hope, he made his mistake, he wants to change, he wants to be a tax-paying citizen? That's who I want. I don't want the psychopath. I've been around enough of them.
But his most controversial and even radical idea may be this one, to be the first jail in the country to get rid of solitary altogether.
I love what this warden's doing. Warden, Commissioner, Department of Corrections Commissioner in Rikers. This guy is listen, we keep doing the same thing over and over, and we keep getting the same results, but we want different results. That's a sign of a fucking idiot. And this guy's not. He's trying something different. Can you save them all? No. Can you save a percentage of them? Absolutely. And when you save somebody, you also save a future victim. So I want people to look at it that way. I don't want them to just look at it as, you're coddling a criminal. Because I don't coddle criminals. I don't coddle anybody. I'm a straight up fucking shooter. Do I think the system's broke? Absolutely. Anybody who doesn't think the system's broke is living in a bubble.
For the younger inmates, 18 to 21 years old, a small percentage of the population, the most difficult to control. We are walking in the part of solitary housing the younger inmate.
Now, they're going into a part of the prison that houses the 18 to 21 year olds. Now, let me tell you about this. This part of the prison is, kids have not got developed. They're rough kids. They come from the streets. They have nothing. Their brains are not developed. Everybody knows this. I think they say it till a kid is about 25, a male. I think the females are about 23, that their brains are fully developed. This is all science, not me. It's not me, guys. This is science. And when I see that, and I see what's going on, I understand it. Now, there are ways, but taking away confinement in any degree, what do you have holding over my head? Let's continue.
The sound here, wild and deafening.
It's kind of, That is so typical, especially young kids. Now, the younger kids are the ones that, you know, jack off on guards. Not on them, but they'll be at the door if it's a female guard, and they'll be jerking their dicks, looking out the window. And that's a crime, man. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be showing your dick and stuff. I'm not talking about laying in your bed and masturbating like a normal person. I'm talking wanting to see it. You know, doing things that are perverted in front of them and wanting a person to see that and do that. Now, these guys have enough mental problems as it is. And I mean, now you're going to just tell them stop doing shit? They did this shit on the streets. So this is where it gets a little crazy.
21-year-old Richard Delgado, chained to the wall.
Ricardo Delgado.
Are you dangerous?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. When I first got locked up, I was depressed. I'm like, damn, I felt like killing myself. But then the neighbor next to me heard that. He like, yo, you bugging. Like, how old are you? You know, I'm 20. You're gonna go home. Like, don't kill yourself. You bugging. You gotta be strong.
Delgado is in Rikers for murder, in solitary for an alleged attack on another inmate.
That doesn't surprise me. Young kids do stupid things, get caught up in gangs, get caught up in shootouts, and get caught up in stupid things. Now, is it wrong? Do they need prison time? Absolutely. Do they need corrective? Are they mental? Did they come from a place where they didn't have any? Listen, we gotta find a better solution than what we have. And right now, what we have is absolutely garbage. The system is garbage because there's no rehabilitation. What I liked about this warden is they not only try and eliminate, I get that part of it, but how about the education? How about the program he talked about? That's the key, keeping them busy.
You go back to that housing area that inmate assaulted you in, and you're looking at him eye to eye, and he's looking at you going, I'll do it again.
The officers call it punitive segregation.
Punitive segregation should not be dismantled for the 18 to 21-year-olds.
It is true, it should not be dismantled. We have to come up with a better solution, is what it is. It's about the solution. And, you know, they need it. I've been in prison. What do you do when you have 5-on-5 riot? What do you take them? Back to their cell where they, you know, there's no punishment? There has to come up with a punishment, but it has to be a system that is commensurate. You can't say put them in the box forever. That fucks a person up.
If we believe we can change them and we stop you being harmed or me being harmed or our family being harmed by the fact that we did some good with these individuals, we won't save them all, but I'll guarantee you what we were doing was saving nobody.
He is so right. That warden or commissioner, or again, I don't know what they call him, what we were doing was not working. I would love them to have the opportunity of inmates who were fucked up like me, or not. I wasn't raped by a guard, but I was beaten and pissed on and fucking spit on, and it's in the first page of my fucking book. And it drives me nuts to think that why don't I have the platform to come out and say, hey, these guards need to be, you know, held accountable, go to jail, whatever.
When we come back, what about the history of officers using brute force?
What's up, baby boy? You good?
And we meet the inmate who operates as a kind of rock star here at Rikers. His life about to change in ways he did not expect.
I just got to say, looking at this video, and there's a part to it, I'm going to do another video on the guys that they interview, these 3 younger guys in prison, and it's a pretty good story. So I'm going to do that video as well. But I do think they need to keep the box or the hole. It has to be used in the most, you know, the most violent, most cautionary way, because there's no question solitary confinement makes you crazy. We are human beings. We are a very social animal, the human. And without that, you start going crazy. And I know it because I did. And I contemplated suicide. And I'd lay in bed and fucking my brain was so shot. And I was lucky enough to be strong enough to direct my brain and guide my brain into positive ways, fighting the system, learning about patience, doing a lot of things. Obviously, it's a lot harder for younger people, but we do need to have a way to at least put a check on people who go crazy. I mean, obviously new charges, but if you got a guy he's got 3 murders and you're letting him just assault people, That can't happen. There has to be a stop for that. Whether it's tranquilizers, whether it's drugs. I don't know the total answer, but I do have some great ideas, and you'll hear about those too soon. Anyway, I hope you like this video. Happy New Year again. Let's make 2022 the best year ever. Stay safe, people. Please make good choices and help somebody. It'll make you feel good. Have a great day, everybody.